everybody and welcome to Sewing Tuesday. So we're on to week 3 of our button game and chat, and I've got my trusty dice. I've got a few bits and bobs to play with when we know how many buttons we're going to be using. So for anybody that's new, it's just a bit of a fun game. I usually have a pick jar and suggestions, and I pick a suggestion out every week and incorporate that into the stitch. But just to ring the changes, for the next few weeks we're doing the buttons, and I'm going to roll the dice and see how many buttons I'm going to pick out of here. So we're on week 3. These were the 2 that we've already done, so go back and watch those if you are new today, and then you'll be able to see what we've done already. Okay then, right, do we blow on it? That's what we used to do, blow on it for luck. 3, so we've got 3. Okay, I'm not going to look because I'm just going to give a good rummage round. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Oh, that's one of my Art Deco ones. Love that. Okay then, let's have a look, see what we're going to do this week. Now I've picked this piece out, thought we'd have a go. I didn't know how many buttons we'd be getting, and I thought this will lend itself to do some nice satin stitch, which is if you're doing Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, that's one of the sampler stitches that they've done, so I might do a bit of that on there. So with that in mind, I think I will put that grey button in the centre of that, and then work round that. Now the other thing is, I was going to put a bit of something down here, but it was going to depend. I've got this ready. Let's have a look whether I want a bit. Let's just have a bit of that. Now that goes quite nice, and then we'd put those buttons on. Now, right, I quite like that. Now the other choice that I had got was putting that on, because I do love the blacks on there, and then I could put that there, that there. Oh, the 2 brown there and that there. No, I think I like the other one actually. Either would be nice, but I like that. That's a similar, I like the texture as well on there. And what did I say, those 2, and then that, and we'll do a bit of satin stitch round. And then let's have a look. I'm trying to do them of a similar style, which is, you know, very much quite abstract is my style for embroidery in lots of ways. So yeah, I think that will go nicely. And I'd chosen 3 of my 6 from the 6 threaded cottons. I thought those colours would go nice, and I think, I'm trying to think what I would use for the centre of that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. Quick decision there. Let me get my needle out. Is that my stabby one? Yeah. So hope you are all well. It's lovely and sunny today here, but very windy. We've had very high tides, really coming up over the seafront. But yeah, get really high tides in winter anyway. Right, I'm just going to sew my button on. This is a gorgeous button. I really love it. I don't know if you can see, but it's got gorgeous sort of markings on it. Really, it's gorgeous. And I want the centre sewing to be part of it, really. And then we said that little one, didn't we? Now, I'm going to do it across. Sometimes I would do it as a cross stitch, but I'm not on this time. They're all right once you get going, these buttons. It's just getting them in position to start with. That's it. And I like to give them 2. So hope you enjoyed that bit of cutting out packaging yesterday. I got loads done. After we turned the camera off, I carried on. And then I got a hair appointment, hair colour at 1 o'clock, so that seemed to take all afternoon up. So there's nothing exciting to chat about, really. There, like that. Okay. I'm just going to snip that middle because they do tend to pull. That's that. Now, do I want this? I am going to do it in the same colour. I'm not always matchy-matchy, but I'm going to do today. So hope you're getting on with your piece. There's quite a few of you now saying, oh, that you're going to join in, that you've got loads of buttons and you're joining in the fun. So I'm pleased. Any excuse for me to get buttons out. There's just something really soothing. I think it's because, you know, I used to spend hours going through my nan's button box when I was little and things like, you know, it's like brings back happy memories playing with buttons and liking that. Now, do I do the inner circle in this? Yeah, I think I will. Just going to do a bit of filling in stitch then. I've got it on 6 strands at the moment. So I'm just, the satin stitch really is a filler inner, more of a filler in type of stitch. And it's great if you've got a piece of embroidery. I mean, it's a thing that Rachel and Sarah do a lot in their embroidery work, and I think the mum does as well. It's a matter of sort of filling in things that are already printed on some old fabric. I'm just going to make it look a bit like it's a flower petal. I'm not going to do it exact to the thing on here. I might to get another stitch out. Might just get one there. Yeah, we'll cut some more. We've got plenty. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow. I'm going to show you my Wednesday's my journal of stitchery day, Roxy's, and we'll find out some new prompts tomorrow. But I'm going to show you mine. I've kept it very, very simple this month. But I've also going to start doing, you know, when we were week before last, was it on here when we started the button game? I started showing you different threads and different wools and how you can sort of experiment. Well, it got me thinking, and I thought I'm going to start doing some stitch experiments. So let me know if that's something that would be helpful, because I thought that you know, we could choose a different type of thread every week and explore how we can use it in different ways. Because I'm all for, you know, making the most out of your supplies. And so I thought, well, tomorrow I'm going to start with this 6-threaded cotton, 6-stranded, should I say, cotton. And we'll have a play. We'll have a play with what we can do with all the different strands. Because that's, I suppose that's just my how I am with my stitching, experimental textiles and stitching in experimental work with stitch and paper together. I just love it. So you probably can tell by now. Let's see. I don't know how we're going to join all these together. We might not join them together. It depends. I'm going to do a journal cover, I think. It may be that I stick these on in different places on the cover, not join them back to back, as it were, next to each other. This is a lovely colour. There's no point in me giving you any numbers because they've got numbers on. I don't know what they equate to because this is my cheap set that I got off Amazon, and so it's not, you know, the numbers aren't DMC or Anchor, so, you know, I haven't a clue. If I told them you won't be able to find them. We'll see if we can get the link for buying this. I think Davy's linked it before, and we'll have a look, see if we can do that again for you. Just in case. I think it was about £20 for all this lot. You know, which I think, especially, you know, you're not doing fine embroidery for you know, your mum's best tablecloth or whatever, then that's different. But, you know, for the sort of stuff we're doing here, it is fine. Right, let's put that. Right, let's have a look now. I think we'll have some of this grey. And to be honest, I think I'm going to keep it at 6 strands. Shows up, doesn't it? Shows up nicely. Go nice next to that one. Similar colours to the beads we used last week. Right, okay. So it's a matter of, with the satin stitch, you know, you're then doing long stitches. It's a bit like long and short stitch, if you've heard of long and short stitch. Similar sort of idea to that, really. A lot of people that do tapestry needlepoint do long and short stitches. That's another thing I love. I haven't done it much lately, but I love tapestry. Love doing needlepoint. Got some. Mind you, I've got a cushion I've been doing for goodness knows how long, I think. Our Adam, my eldest son, is 30. 30 in February. And I'm sure I was doing it when he was a baby, so that shows how quick I am, doesn't it? Finishing projects, eh? So you can see it's like filling it in nicely. You know, try and get them as near to each other as you can. And also, if you're following a pattern that's already on some old fabric, it's, you know, saves you drawing it. If you're not the best of drawers, artists like me, you know, you can just follow the patterns that's on. So I'm just trying to intermingle it because obviously it's a flower and we're, you know, none of the petals are exactly straight in nature, are they? I'm being quiet, sorry. I'm concentrating. concentrating on not sewing my glove up again, as you know I do. Nelson hates this wind. It really frightens him. He's sort of, we have to put him in his crate often. He feels safer in there. He can't stand it when it's, you know, I mean, it's quite open here, and I mean, we're not on the seafront as such, but it doesn't half howl, and it really frightens him. Now, he doesn't mind if he's out in it, which is strange, you know. He'll run around and he quite likes it, but he can't stand being inside and the noise of it. Really, I think a lot of dogs, it's like with fireworks. When they set fireworks off, he's terrified. We have to give him a load of calming drops when they start setting a load of fireworks off. It's pretty quick, this stitch, as well, you know. I mean, if you did it with less strands, and that's probably something we'll look at tomorrow in how you use your strands. You know, if you're using it as 6 strands, it fills in pretty quickly. But, you know, sometimes you want a more delicate look, in which case you'd use less of your strands. Let's just tie that off at the back. Right, now then, let's have a look. Do we want a... See, it's lovely and it's neutral, but do we fancy a bit of a pop of colour around the outside? No, I don't know. Do we need something still in the coral family? That'd be nice. Shall we try that? There's all these little sticky dots on it to stop them unravelling. I think, though, I'm going to do this as... I'm going to split it into 3. I want a pop of colour, but I don't want it to sort of take over. I don't want it to dominate, so let's... oops. We'll fill the rest of it in with this. I did a bit, you'll be proud of me. I did some more of my journal therapist's qualification at the weekend. I did do my homework. I did get some done, which I was really pleased about, because I really must crack on with it. And because I want to start getting into some of the fun exercise stuff, so we can do some of that together. But, you know, there's a lot of the theory groundwork to do first, and research and stuff. And I was making a point of how therapeutic crafts are to us. You know, sewing and journal making, paper crafting. You know, it all adds to our sense of well-being, and it sort of takes the mind off our troubles and everything that's happening in the wider world. And I sort of put in the work, you know, in my not an essay, but, you know, the question I was answering, that never before has it been more important to have such a, you know, a diverse range of therapies, because, you know, this pandemic has affected everybody in some shape or form. And I think if people, you know, I don't think they're being honest with themselves if they say that it hasn't. And I found an interesting document of some research that I didn't know it was going on, but it's, you know, sort of a big mental health study going on in the UK. They started it in March, as you know, March 2020, as the pandemic really hit the UK when we went into lockdown. And they've sort of been doing, you know, a lot of questionnaires and looking into people's health and well-being with the pandemic. And it really surprised me that well, it didn't surprise me because I knew the figures would be pretty high, but it's the economic hardship that that's had, you know, the staggering, I think it was nearly 70% people admitted to having stress and anxiety just due to economic issues of the pandemic alone, you know, going into lockdowns and furlough and goodness knows what. And I mean, that's not even going there to address how many people will need help who are grieving, who've been grieving, you know, because it hasn't been a normal grieving process. I don't know in other countries, but certainly in the UK, people aren't being allowed to go to the hospitals to be with, you know, the loved ones. So, I'm not trying to put a dampener on our sewing, but it was just, you know, I'm very much into health and well-being, and anything we can do to, and I'm a big advocate for, I think we all will agree, those of us that craft in some shape or form, either art or sewing or paper crafting or whatever, it is therapeutic. It does. It's not, you know, I think anything that gives you joy has an impact on your well-being, don't you? And you know, and even if that joy is short because you've got so many other difficult things happening outside of, you know, your crafting bubble, for that space of time, that joy is boosting your well-being. So, you know, carry on crafting, that's what I say. It's lovely to be, you know, to have retired from work now, and so I could get all these. I could craft all day if I want. That's why I'm getting this tendinitis. Oh dear. Right. Oh yes, I like that. What do you think? That's really filled that in nicely, hasn't it? It's not like me, I haven't done any French knots yet. I'm not sure I want to. I think I'm going to leave that there with that. Just let me have a quick drink of water while I see if I want to put much else on there. I'm just bringing in the other ones to see what I'd like to do here. Do I want to do anything else? I might just edge it at the bottom. I think I might just edge it and finish it off like that, but I don't want to use that. Have we got, let's have a look at this grey. I want more of a brown grey, but I don't know if I've got it in this set. Let's have a rummage. Let's have a rummage in here. No, I don't think it'd be great if I got that colour. I don't think I've got it in any of the others. Oh, I'll end up pulling all stuff off floor again like last week. Let's have a look in here. Oh, now this is more my greens and oranges. Oh, what's this? No. Oh. Do we want a bit of mohair on it? No. Too black. Too black. Let's have a look in here. I think I must be obsessed with buying pinks, oranges and greens. I don't seem to have got anything else. Oh, let's have a look. That's a lot more grey than I thought. I don't think I want multicoloured. Let's have a look at my browns. No, I think that grey is going to be the best we can. I think that's going to be the best we can get, the nearest. I think that's... Do we want that? It's a bit black. No, we'll stick with grey. I think this is showing that I need to widen my colour choices instead of picking the same ones all the time. I think. In the threads. Yarn and fibre, which is, I know I talk about Natalie Stewart a lot. She has got a website, Natalie Stewart, but her Etsy shop is called Yarn and Fibre. She's got a sale on at the moment, if any of you want to go and, if you're wanting to get some new threads. I'm going to... This doesn't want to split nicely. And that's also where I get all this sort of burlap, hessian, cheesecloth, all those sort of things. That's it. I think we've got 4 on here. So for tomorrow, get your 6-stranded cotton out and some bits of fabric. And actually, if there are some old vintage bits of fabric that you think you might use in your stitchery project, then get that out, because sometimes it doesn't hurt to have things ready, does it? It's like... You know, I found another bit of my mum's devore, so I've sewn that ready to stick on somewhere. And I'm a lover of fabric and paper together. That really gives you a cool look. So we might have a go with the 6-stranded cotton with fabric and paper. So get a few supplies together, ready for tomorrow. And right, on here, we've got a lovely... frayed edge, so I think I need to just fray the bottom a little bit before I sew it. I don't want much down that side, otherwise it'll disintegrate, won't it? Okay, so again I am going to do backstitch. And do quite a nice size of stitches along here. Along here. Not very straight, Catherine. It's because I'm doing them at arm's length so that you can see. What am I doing here? Look. Having to talk and think at the same time. Rethread it. Is that threaded right? Yeah, it must be. Is it? Oh, I can't tell now. So don't forget with your backstitch. Oh, goodness me. We've got a blinking... Now, this is DMC cotton. You know, and this is like I'm saying about using this cheaper cotton. In the feel, you can tell. But look at this. I didn't have this trouble with the other, did I? I think I kept thinking there was a strand that hadn't gone in, and I think that's why that's happened. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, backstitch. Don't forget with your backstitch, you go back and forward equidistant to your thread in the middle. Back and forward. roughly equidistant, and it gives you a neater finish. Says she who's doing it all over the shant. Oh. There. I'm not liking this particular one. It's splitting out as we use it. I think I'm just going to do another row. Okay. So back equidistant. Make sure that you roughly your thread's in the middle. I think we did that last week anyway, didn't we? Nice and peaceful. David and Nelson are being quiet. I'm always suspicious when Nelson's quiet. It's a lovely upholstery, old upholstery fabric, this. We seem to have had more issues with this, don't we? With this DMC. I think sometimes it depends how old. Some of these I got from my auntie, and I think she's had them years, and sometimes they do get a bit snaggy. There we go. I like that. I'll just tie that off, and then I think that's this week's piece done. Just neaten that up a bit. There we go. Let me just get rid of that because it's in the way. So quite simple, but I think that if we do more of satin stitch, we could go around all these others. But for me, if it was on a massive piece, I would do more, but I think it would be overpowering with our other pieces, you know, if I was to do that. So there we go, that's this week's piece. So we rolled 3 buttons, 3 different buttons there, done some satin stitch around that flower, and just a bit of backstitch on the bottom just to finish the edging off. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow for some stitch experiments and my first block from January's stitchery. All right then, lovelies, take care. Bye for now.